Alright, what's going on, boys? Do not train chest again until you actually watch this video, okay? And if you're wondering why should I be listening to you, you little Filipino kid with a hoodie on. Alright, so this is me when I first, wanted to start going to the gym. And this was me about like 1 year into going to the gym. Basically no difference. And a couple months later, my physique turned out to something like this, right? And in this video, I'm going to be covering exactly how you can understand your calories and how that actually affects how you look and how your chest looks, and proper training structure and progressive overload with intention. And it's this whole layout right here. So please just, stay until the end of the video so you could actually learn, okay? First things first is understanding how calories work, okay? So like I said, I grew up with a skinny fat physique and I always blamed my chest genetics. Like if you took a look at this guy, right? You would not think that he would have chest genetics or like good chest genetics, right? And now when I look at my physique, I'm like, wow, I think the best thing on my body is like my chest, how it's developed, right? So I used to always blame my chest genetics, and I thought I had to bulk in order to get bigger, and that explains like this whole thing right here of me skinny fat, then I turned fat, and then now I have this physique that I have now. All right. So here's the truth about how calories actually work, all right? So eating on a calorie surplus, it's going to make you gain weight. And if you're eating on a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. And in general, when you lose weight, you're dropping body fat. When you're gaining weight, you're most likely gaining more body fat, all right? So this is like the body fat percentage right here. It's like a nice little chart to take a look at. There's like the 3 to 4%, 6 to 7. What the fuck? All right, let me stop. 6, 7, and then there's 10 to 12% body fat. If your body fat percentage is higher than 12% body fat, then you should be on a calorie deficit. Like in this picture right here, my body fat percentage was not less than 12%. And I thought I had to bulk, but when I was bulking and I was adding on more weight, I was getting fatter. And yes, I was probably building more muscle, but at the same time, I was also adding on more fat. All right. So if you're watching this video, you're most likely higher than 12% body fat. If you're not, then I'm sorry, man. Just click off this video, okay? Click off, right? Yeah, just click off the video. So if you're higher than 12% body fat, you should be on a calorie deficit, right? So here's exactly how you can actually do that. So go on a TDEE calculator and find your calorie maintenance, right? Using this, you're gonna find like your calorie maintenance. Calorie maintenance is just the amount of calories that your body needs in order to maintain its own weight, right? So if, for example, I'm just throwing out a number out there, 1800 calories is the amount of calories you need to maintain your weight. If you keep eating 1800 calories each and every single day, your weight is going to stay the same. And the reason why you're, been gaining weight and the reason why you've been getting fatter is because you've been eating on a calorie surplus, meaning you've been eating more calories than your body maintains. So if we want to lose body fat in order to reveal our chest and actually build it, we have to eat on a calorie deficit, right? So once you get your calorie maintenance on here, you're going to subtract 300 to 500 calories from that. Let's say, for example, your maintenance is 2200 calories. Just subtract 300 calories from that. So from now on, eat like 1900 calories. And with that amount of calories, you should be losing about 1 to 2 pounds per week. If you're losing more, okay, maybe it might be fine, but you can kind of control it. You can add more calories, and yeah, you should be losing about 1 to 2 pounds per week if you want to do it healthy and safe, right? And just use this MyFitnessPal app to actually track your calories. And just a little just some tips out there, right? If you guys want to be accurate with your tracking, um track cooked foods instead of raw. Bang, bang. All right, so you guys want to track your foods cooked instead of raw, right? It's more accurate that way because um raw food, there's more water weight and it's not as accurate. So cook foods instead of raw. On the MyFitnessPal app, there should be like different labels on it, and make sure to track your oil. Track oil and butter, right? Make sure you're tracking your oil and butter because 1 tablespoon of olive oil is around 120 calories, right? And most likely you're free pouring that all over your pan, thinking like, oh, I'm being healthy, and then you're adding extra calories that you could have just ate, right? So make sure you track your oil and your butter. Those are just two little pointers that I could help you out with. And now we're going into the proper training structure. So these are honestly the only two workouts that I do to grow my chest, right? As you can see, my chest right here, really flat. I don't look that good. And right here, my chest is actually popping out. And the truth is, guys, this picture I was 160 pounds, and this picture I'm like 147 pounds. I'm like 150 now. I just came back from a Vegas trip, but you know, I was like 147 pounds in that picture. And the reason why I look bigger is because when you lose body fat, you actually gain. You, sorry, when you lose body fat, you actually build up that nice toned physique, right? So that's the reason why I did that. And sorry, one more thing about this whole thing on your calorie deficit. Make sure you're eating 1 gram of protein. Let me just type this out. All right, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. All right, and why do we want to do that? Because like protein is what's going to help you build and maintain muscle. And when you're on that calorie deficit, you can still build muscle as long as you do what I'm about to tell you in this video. Okay, so 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're like 180 pounds, eat 180 grams of protein. All right, that's some crazy math right there. It's so hard to do, bro. All right, boom. All right. All right, so right here, right? So the upper chest is like the hardest part to grow, but it gives your chest that full look, all right? I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, bro. I never hit my lower pec, but for some reason, my lower pec is pretty defined, right? My upper chest is still, it still looks like it needs to grow, right? So the truth is, this lower pec is, like I said, the easiest part to grow. Most likely, if you just start touching your chest right now, like you'll feel that your lower pec, there's gonna be some nice muscle down there, right? So these are the two workouts that I do. I do incline dumbbell press. Most people they think that like doing incline dumbbell press is only gonna target your upper pec, but it targets the full pec. All right, do your own research on that. I promise you, it targets the full pec. So I do like 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps per exercise. I just do like 6 to 8 rep range. Obviously, if you can do more, then do more. Okay. What you want to do is you want to push your sets till failure, and that's the reason why we're only doing 2 to 3 sets. Most people they do like 4 sets of 12, and they try to tone up the muscles. But in order to grow, you have to push yourself till failure, right? And to force your muscles to actually grow. So that's exactly what you do right there. And the second thing is I just do some chest flies. Um, I do 8 to 10 reps because whenever I'm doing this and I'm doing like 4 reps or like 6 reps, I end up hurting my shoulder and I'm just like ego lifting. So I do 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, all right? And make sure you're resting 3 minutes in between. If you're like, wow, that's too long, bro, just do 2 to 3 sets. I promise you, do these 2 workouts for the next couple months or the next week. I promise you, your chest will feel so much better, okay? And last but not least, guys, you gotta do progressive overload with intention, okay? If you wanna look like this, then you turn out like this, then this and this. Bro, this is steroids right here, bro. What the fuck? Alright. So boom, if you wanna actually grow, you have to do what's called progressive overload, right? So you're building more muscle when you're pushing more weight, right? If your max rep was like 135 pounds, um, and next year your max rep is like 200 pounds, I'm pretty sure you built some muscle, right? So what I want you to start doing from now on is increasing your sets, reps, or weight each week, all right? So how would that look in a, let's say for example, right? So like, let's say for example, this week I did 135 pounds, 135 pounds for 8 reps, right? If I did 135 pounds for 8 reps and I want to do progressive overload the next week, I would just do 140 pounds for maybe 6 reps. If I did that, I added more weight, then I'm building more muscle, right? And let's say if I can't add more weight, I would just add more reps, right? So I would do 135 pounds for 10 reps. And let's say that you can't add more reps, you can't add more weight, you would just add another set. So instead of doing 3 sets this week, let's just do 4, okay? Or you can also, what's that word? What's that word? You can also drop set, okay? So when you're doing 135 pounds and you do it till failure, then you just drop the weight and do it till failure, okay? But yeah, guys, that's about it on what you should do in order to actually grow your chest within this new year. And if you guys want a full guide on how I lost weight, lost 20 pounds of fat, I'm going to pop up a video somewhere on the screen. Other than that, guys, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. Maybe some comments to, give me some advice. And yeah, guys, you guys have a good one. Peace out.